Hi, folks. I hope you're doing well. Today, I want to continue my conversation on Income Engine 2, that being business, understanding business, and how to use leverage to create wealth. More specifically, I want to talk today about why so many businesses fail and why so many businesses remain small businesses. So, even though they're sustainable, they really struggle to scale, grow, and really become engines for creating wealth. So the reality is, most businesses don't create wealth. I know that's not the dream that's sold of entrepreneurship, but that is the reality. Most businesses don't create wealth. They actually just create income with overhead. People think that starting a business automatically leads to wealth, but most businesses simply replace a job with a more demanding job. Believe you me, as someone who runs their own business and who has been in business for years, it took me way too long for me to actually realize this. And for a long time, all I had done was replace my corporate job with a more demanding job. I was working longer hours. I was more stressed. I had more responsibility from being the tea lady all the way to being the CEO, and not getting paid for any of that. So I replaced my corporate job with a more demanding job, longer hours, more stress, more responsibility, but not necessarily more wealth. Until I understood the core problem, most businesses lack leverage. And without leverage, you're not going to create wealth. So the core problem that I faced and the core problem that most businesses fail is that they need to look at themselves and how they're structured and understand, are we using leverages? Because most businesses lack leverage. They depend entirely on their owner's time, their owner's decisions, their owner's constant involvement. If you remove the owner, the business slow downs or completely fails. And that's not wealth, that's dependency. You're not creating a business that can be leveraged to create wealth. All you're doing is you're replacing one job with an even more demanding job. You're not creating wealth, you're creating dependency. A business only creates wealth when it becomes independent of your time. So when the systems handle execution, when your people handle operations, when processes ensure consistency, that is when a business is structured for leverage, and that is when a business is actually structured to scale and create wealth. Only then does the business begin to scale. Revenue is not wealth. Ownership of a scalable system is. So I'll repeat that. Revenue is not wealth. Just because you have a business and it's actually generating a revenue, that's step one and that's great. But revenue is not wealth. Ownership of a scalable system is. Most businesses stay small because they are built for control, short-term income, survival, not for scale, systems, and leverage. And that's why they either fail, because they can't scale, or the owner gets burnt out, or even if they don't fail, they consistently stay small because they're not built for that leverage. In the wealth architecture framework, skill creates value, as I've said, and business multiplies value, but only if the business is built to be scalable, to actually take advantage of leverage. If your business needs you every single day to survive, you don't own a business, you own a job with expenses. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. I have a lot of clients and I know a lot of people who are entrepreneurs who run their own businesses and they have no desire to scale. It is not to say that because you cannot scale your business, it's not worth doing. Not everyone wants to scale their business. Not everyone wants to get to the point where it's publicly listed and have 500 or 1,000 employees. But it's important to understand the structure nonetheless. So if you're getting burnt out as a business owner, if you're feeling like I'm working the most I've ever worked, but this is going nowhere, I'm not growing, no matter what I do, you need to look at your business and how it's structured and saying, am I actually using leverage? Because I repeat that, if your business needs you every day to survive, you don't own a business, you own a job with expenses. If your business cannot run without you, it's not an asset, it's a responsibility. In my next video, I'll be diving a bit deeper into this, because I see people really get trapped. I see a lot of people have the desire to go into entrepreneurship and then have it not work out. So I thought today I'd explain why people get trapped in the business trap, because they're not using leverage. The business is not structured for scalability. Because entrepreneurship is often sold as freedom to a lot of us, when in reality it often creates a different kind of dependency. And in my next video, I'll be discussing the dangerous myth of entrepreneurship and why it keeps so many people stuck. Thank you for listening today. I'll see you tomorrow.